Hello everyone and welcome to Sela Weekend. Newcastle United is now back at St James's Park. We have a lot of transfer news and news in general to get through, so I wanted to make this video now. We can enjoy the Sela Cup weekend and then we can come back on Sunday with any further information that has came out. Straight away, 13th of the 8th 2024, so that is next Tuesday if my maths has served me correct. So that is actually when Newcastle United's new away kit will officially come out. Newcastle will quite literally about 5 minutes ago put out a post on their social medias telling you all about that, so make sure to get yourselves at the club shop next week. I'm going to be there once again. There'll be a launch vlog and I'm going to buy myself the new away kit because that 96 kit looks gorgeous. But before we get into any transfer news, and especially the story of Eddie Howe's press conference with Bruno corpsing up with laughter when he talks about Marc Guehi, I wanted to get through a couple of things first. And the obvious thing being is that, again, it's the Sela Cup weekend, so Newcastle has released an official statement going through the two matches. As I mentioned in my last video, the games are going ahead. Tonight has no issues. It's tomorrow where there'll be a protest that will be taking place in the centre of Newcastle. And because of that particular area being so confined to Newcastle fans using it as a form of transport, we just got to make you aware of it. So Newcastle has put an official statement out. In terms of fans and what you should all expect going to the game, not much has honestly changed. It's just more of a warning from Newcastle telling people to make sure you're safe going to the match. From the police have also issued statements out as well, but I'll just make sure you guys, if you haven't already seen the statements, just are fully aware about it. If anything happens inside the stadium or outside the stadium, you can report it to particular channels which Newcastle United has stated. But other than that, just enjoy the game. That's all I'm going to say. Just make sure you look after yourselves and just enjoy yourselves. Again, we've got a women's match that takes place before the men's game, so if you have to get yourself to the ground early, you can go 4 hours before the men's game kicks off. So yeah, the choice is yours. Be careful if you are going to the game. I just want to let you all know about that. And speaking of Newcastle United social media, they've got a brand new app now. So if you go onto the App Store on your Android or your iPhone, get yourselves on there and you can download the new app. There is supposed to be exclusive content on there, so whenever Newcastle does interviews of their players or maybe some behind the scenes content, some of it is meant to only be for the app, so there are perks and reasons why you should download the app. So be aware of that and make sure to check it out for yourselves. I haven't actually done that myself yet, but I've heard that the app is quite good, so make sure you go on there. And just before we get into the main bulk of this video, if you guys are new around here and you enjoy the content, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button. So before the game tonight, I will be going to the new stack again, so I'll be doing a second video there. Basically, it's just to show you how the stack will work on a match day experience and to answer your questions as well, because my video yesterday, it was just more showing you what's actually inside. I never actually had a chance to answer many questions, so straight away in this video, if you have any questions, any queries, put them down below and I'll be happy to answer them in my second video about the stack. And again, weekend vlog coming out. Apologies for the long intro there. I just want to tell you a couple of things directly from Newcastle United before we get into the video. But now that we've done that, let's just dive straight into the deep end. For the transfer news, let's talk about the big one. Marc Guehi, the Crystal Palace centre-half, England international. Newcastle, according to reports, have put a £60 million bid in for him, which has been rejected by Crystal Palace. However, Crystal Palace's valuation of the defender is £65 million. So in terms of value, Newcastle is very close to actually reaching what Crystal Palace want. I think it also helps the fact that the player himself, according to journalists, wants to join Newcastle United. The impression is that he wants the ambitious move. He's happy going to Newcastle, and it's one that I personally think will get completed. The only issues I see with this one is, one, either Crystal Palace starts to move the goalpost. So let's say Newcastle now goes back in for £65 million and all of a sudden Palace wants 70. I think that's one issue. And secondly is the fact that if any other Premier League teams come from or any competition arises, then I think there could be an issue there. But since the player wants to join Newcastle, I don't think Palace are going to hold him against his own will. So I think Newcastle are going to complete this deal just as long as nobody else joins in with the mix. And the reason why I brought all that up is because, of course, Eddie Howe's first press conference back in Newcastle, journalists asked him that question. Keith Downey, what can you tell us about Marc Guehi? I don't know anything, was Eddie Howe's response. And if you've been watching his press conference for a long time now when it comes to signings, he plays that poker face. And I had a chance to speak to a couple of journalists yesterday, and they've stated whenever Eddie Howe does not deny something, when he comes out and says, instead of no, it's not happening, when he comes out and says I don't know anything about it, it's actually a positive sign. because that's just how he is. I remember Harvey Barnes last season when he was out in America. I think this is probably the most famous example since he came to Newcastle. So Eddie Howe was asked about Harvey Barnes. He goes, well, I don't know anything about this. Bear in mind, when he said that, he had already been to the training ground, Harvey. He's already done his medical. He's already been to St James's Park, got his pictures taken. He's already flown across to America. And he's probably sitting in the room next to Eddie Howe, and Eddie Howe comes out and goes, oh, actually, well, I don't know anything about this deal now. That's just the sort of person he is. And the fact that during the press conference, Bruno was next to him, and Bruno was doing his player conference as well. You can just see the look in Bruno's face. I mean, he's corpsing. He's basically laughing at Eddie Howe because he either knows something that we don't, or he just knows that Eddie Howe is just bluffing the media almost, just making sure that nothing comes out and said. And the reason why Eddie does that is because, of course, we don't want to jeopardise any deals. If he comes out and says, oh, we're close to getting this player, this is going to happen, then maybe potentially it could damage the deal. And that's why the manager personally misleads the journalist and just does not tell them the truth. He just does not come out and say the obvious. So I actually think it's a good sign that he came out and said, I don't know anything about it. And again, the fact that Bruno was just next to him laughing is a good indication and a positive sign, I like to say. It might be a few days, might take a week or so, because of the fact that, again, Newcastle and Palace do need to reach an agreement on the deal. Newcastle, especially when they're going for players as well, the way we structured payments, we normally like to do it over the course of 2 to 3 years. Palace might want more money up front. That might be a potential issue in the deal, but it's just something that we're eyeing out. Both teams are coming to an agreement, and again, just as long as nobody else comes in for the Palace defender, I personally think Newcastle will get him. I think it's positive. I think you guys should be excited for this one, and my belief is anyway that I think we are one signing, a right winger, away from having a fantastic window. And I've actually put a post out on Twitter where I was asking people what their thoughts are on the transfer window so far and what you would rate it out of 10. Fairly positive for the most part, but again, it does depend on us actually signing the Crystal Palace centre half. But in terms of what fans think, most people seem to be just meh about it, and that's probably my feeling at the minute. I think once we get a couple of top signings officially done, then I think it's an amazing window. And the fact that we don't have European football, I think will heavily benefit Newcastle this season, and we've got to go out there, we've got to make the most out of it. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching the video today. That's about it in terms of everything. Can you stop biting me? No, Archie, that is naughty. But yeah, we'll see you at the Sela Cup weekend tonight. Of course, first match against Girona and second match against Brestos. 2 Champions League sides. I know on paper it don't sound like amazing games, but it will actually be highly competitive for Newcastle. There'll be good testers for us before we play Southampton next week. And just like that, 1 week tomorrow, football is back at St James's Park for the Premier League, and I can't wait for the new season. So stay tuned. Enjoy the game tonight. Make sure you look after yourselves. And if you're going to the stack later, I'll see you there when I'm recording the video. Can you please stop biting me? But yeah, he's been a naughty boy today. You are being naughty. But yeah, thank you guys for watching anyway. We'll see you all later on tonight for the Girona game.